Hello, I'm Llewellyn King, the co-host of MECFS Alert, and I'm in Northern California at a place called Mountain View to meet with Dr. Andreas Kogelnik, who is the director of the newly formed Open Medicine Institute. Hi, Andy. And he is called Andy by everyone, and he is fairly unusual in that he has a degree in medicine and a degree as a PhD, as a doctor of, what is it?
Bioengineering, actually.
Bioengineering. So you have medicine and bioengineering, related but not quite the same thing.
Exactly.
And you practice medicine.
That's right.
Particularly with CFS patients.
That's right.
How did you get into that?
Well, somewhat by chance, I was actually at Stanford working with Jose Montoya, and he and I were in clinic one day, and several patients were referred in that week for high viral titers, and we actually didn't get the CFS story until much later. And we decided to treat those, and that evolved into a whole treatment process and the EVOLVE trial for Valsite and a whole program that he's continued up there, and I've continued outside of Stanford.
And now you treat directly yourself as a physician,
That's right.
CFS patients. How many of those do you have?
We have about, closing on about 1,000 active patients in the clinic here.
And Open Medicine Institute, that's a very sort of ambitious name, if I might say so. What does it mean, and why is it called that?
Well, what we've formed over the last 2 years is a collaborative institute that has created a research network aimed at CFS, and we've got some other areas of interest as well. But our CFS Research Institute, the network includes people like Dan Peterson, Chuck Lapp, Cindy Bateman, Rich Podell, so we've got clinics involved from across the country. We've got key researchers involved like Jay Levy from UCSF and Ron Davis from the Stanford Genome Center, and many others. We're working closely with the Norwegian group.
So part of this mission here is collaboration.
Absolutely.
And the sharing of information. So
Exactly.
We don't get what I call stovepiping, I think you call it silos.
Yes.
These very separate units of effort.
That's right. Part of what we're trying to do is bring together some of those separate units that have traditionally been doing small projects here or there on their own, and bring them together into one stronger group so that we can do larger studies across larger sets of patients and actually hopefully get some statistical relevance and bring some infrastructure to those efforts so that we can have core molecular studies done and done well. And we've had an initial collaboration, which is part of the group that published a counter paper in Science last year that sort of documented the contamination issue in XMRV, and that was sort of our first big foray as a collaborative group.
And physicians are enthusiastic about this?
Absolutely. We've had a wonderful response. We've gotten a CDC grant as a result of some of our efforts and several other smaller grants. And we're really trying to push forward, and we've had several other physician groups join the network outside of that initial grant.
What is the first goal?
I think really the first goal is to bring ideas and people together, and particularly in leaders in the field, and really drive at some of the diagnostic challenges that we see for CFS and bring molecular technologies towards bringing better biomarkers for any aspect of the disease.
So if I could put that into layman's terms, your first goal is to find a diagnostic tool so that you've got a place to start.
Absolutely. I think we're doing that as a first target, but we're not really forgetting about the clinical treatment side, and we're going ahead with some of the efforts that we've done in terms of pilot studies and formal clinical trials into some therapeutic options.
I understand that you're going to be using both Ampligen and Rituxan here.
That's right. So we're currently doing a Rituxan pilot here, and we're working very closely with the Norwegian group. They're part of our network as well.
Rituxan, of course, is a cancer drug that affects the immune system.
That's right. And we and other groups have started considering it very closely after the paper that was originally published by the Norwegian group that identified it as a drug that may alleviate some of the symptoms of CFS, potentially all of them. But the big question is how broadly applicable is the drug? And so we've gone as a multi-site group and put that together to try to get an international trial looking at Rituxan and its effectiveness.
The other drug that everybody's interested in is, of course, Ampligen, which seems to be permanently in trial. Are you going to be able to get it beyond that?
Well, we're having some discussions with Hemispherics, the manufacturer of the drug, around that, and we certainly have a strong group to do that. There's at least 3 sites in our clinical research network that have already had experience and are part of the Ampligen trial group. So we have a great underpinnings to do that, but a big part of moving that drug forward is going to require an effort by the manufacturer of the drug, as well as coordination with the FDA and really how to move that to the next level.
Clearly, Andy, this is both an ambitious and an exciting undertaking. Very good luck to you.
Thanks so much.
Here at the Open Medicine Institute.
If you would like to sponsor MECFS Alert, please contact us at mecfsalert@gmail.com. Help us to help you.